Measles, the highly contagious virus, was declared eradicated from the U.S. back in 2000, but now it's back. Doctors are blaming parents who refuse to vaccinate their children. Dr. Kevin Campbell, an associate professor at the University of North Carolina School of Medicine, explains why this outbreak should not be taken lightly. Dr. Kevin, so 100 people, 4 states. How did this get so out of control?
It's because we're not vaccinating kids anymore.
Who are these people who aren't vaccinating their children?
So we're seeing a couple of groups. One is very wealthy folks, particularly in California, who want to go to all natural living. There's another group of people that cite religious reasons. And then there's another group of people who don't want to vaccinate their children because of some faulty data saying it was associated with autism, which has completely been debunked.
Completely debunked and even pulled from the Lancet, right?
That's exactly right.
We have this, variety, these groups of people who are saying that they're not vaccinating their children, and then the federal government comes out just over the weekend and says, well, maybe you might want to get that done. Why is there such a lax response to this?
I think that, like most issues, I think our administration politicizes everything, and it bothers me that our president and his press secretary, Josh Earnest, were very wishy-washy about it on Friday and through the weekend. We need to tell parents, you must vaccinate your kids.
But isn't that the president's base, those lefty libs who think that, it's going to kill somebody to get vaccinated?
I think it is, and I think that's why he remained a little wishy-washy, because I'm sure we're still raising funds for the next election.
It goes on, doesn't it? All right, so, this is super contagious. How dangerous are the measles?
Kids can die from the measles. 15% of children who get it can get something called encephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain and have permanent brain damage. And it's so preventable. That's what makes, all of us as physicians so angry, is these kids shouldn't have to suffer if we have responsible adults that vaccinate their children.
Super contagious. What happens if we don't get this under control?
My fear is that we're going to see larger and larger and larger outbreaks. Just as you know from things like polio, we eradicated polio because of the vaccine. We eradicated measles because of the vaccine. If we stop vaccinating and have larger and larger populations, we're going to spread it even further.
94% of our viewers tonight are saying that people should get vaccinated. And I mean, they're speaking with one mind here on this topic. Are there any dangers beyond getting measles to non-vaccination? I mean, what else are we flirting with here?
There's no evidence that it produces autism. That was pulled from the Lancet, as we mentioned earlier. There are some minor side effects, 1 in 1,000, but nothing life-threatening and nothing as severe as the complications of the measles. So I say vaccinate. And, I'm not for big government, but I think the government needs to step in this.
Is this one of those rare occasions where it's right for the government to step in, A, and B, the government can't really force it, can they?
Well, I mean, they can mandate it and require it. Well, they can require it for kids to go to school, and then, the homeschool kids, I guess, could slip through that. But I think that really and truly, we've got to do something on the governmental level.
It's crazy. All the kids that aren't vaccinated, the numbers are climbing. I say 102 cases, with the proportion of kids who are not vaccinated very high indeed. Dr. Campbell, thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
And now we want to know what you think. There's still time to vote in our poll tonight. Should parents vaccinate their kids? Log on to GerriWillis.com. Vote on the right-hand side of the screen. I'll share the results at the end of tonight's show.